Hey everybody, this is Jaydee and welcome to Stranger Things. I'm wearing my Stranger Things hat here. I'm Jaydee from Jaydee Comics, and I'm with my partner, Mr. TJ Watson.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a good night.
Yep. I want to thank everybody for joining us here. We have some people in the chat. Just to let you know, we'll talk a little bit about the show first. Stranger Things came up between TJ and I when we found we both have a passion for not just keys. We have a passion for various artists together. We have a passion for something different about a cover, something different about a story, and something a little stranger than normal. So our idea for the show came about from us looking at each other's, or me really looking at TJ's registry and saying, "Hey, I noticed this. I do the same thing." And then we said, "Well, that'd be a great idea." So what we decided to do is get together and do our first show. And we decided to do a show called Stranger Things. You can see it's called Strange Are Things on YouTube. The reason being is that I don't want any copyright infringement, or I don't want to get shut down by someone who's trying to watch free episodes of that Netflix series. So I want to thank everybody in the chat. I'll just say hello to people right now. Mr. White Whale, Alec, how are you? John's Comics with Kids. The Comic Core themselves are on here. The Boy Who Had Seven, very good. Matt, see there. Comics Book NYC, Kachung, Bake the Snake. Very cool. We got 10 PV people already, and I know there's an auction going on, but this will be fun. So today's theme for Stranger Things is the Pieta covers. And I guess if you're going to find a comic book with the Pieta on it, you might as well find a comic book with the Pieta on it. The Pieta is a statue done by Michelangelo that depicts Mary holding Jesus after the crucifixion. That's known as the Pieta. It's an image that has been recreated so many times in comics over the years. I will go back and say the earliest one I ever found was an
camera's stuck on me.
Oh, camera's on you?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay. So we decided we're going to do the Pieta covers. Here's my hat. Ready to go. Sorry about that. I have to figure out how to change that. Anyway, so here's the Pieta itself. It's an actual comic. So this is a Pieta comic for those of you who know. This is from the Comics Code from 1964. And you're going to do something on the Pieta, there you go. So the first thing I just want to say is the earliest it goes back that I found was an L.B. Cole Catman cover, which is Catman. It's a famous book, number 31 by L.B. Cole. It's from 1946, I believe. After that, the Bruce Gentry would be the second one this was ever done. And here you have some nice headlights for everybody. We don't own these. These are a little bit pricier. I think TJ and I will both admit we both want that Catman. Bruce Gentry probably want all these. Strange Mysteries number 1 has a Pieta cover. So what really makes a Pieta? A Pieta has one character carrying another character who's unconscious, dead, or what have you. They cannot be alive. So we're just saying that they at least have to have their eyes closed or not be functioning at the time.
They cannot be awake.
Yeah. They cannot be awake.
Yeah.
Here's Captain Science, number 2. Some great books right here. We have another one here, a Baffling Mysteries, right there. And this is actually coming out tomorrow. So just to let you know, it's been going on for years. And the Pieta cover, we're going to show you some covers that a lot of you guys are going to recognize. And a lot of them say, oh, my God, I have that cover. That's exactly what we're going to have some fun with. So here we go. This actually comes out tomorrow. This is Shatterstar number 5. And I saw this on, Midtown Comics to see what was coming out tomorrow. And I said, are you kidding me? What a perfect day to do the Stranger Things show. So again, here's the Pieta as it's done by Michelangelo himself. In its comic book form for the first time. But there are probably 2 comic books, I think, that are the quintessential ones. And I'm going to have TJ show the first one and explain the first one.
Well, the first one was done by George Perez in 1985. And it's the classic issue number 7 of Crisis of Infinite Earths. And it's probably one of the most, noticeable, popular ones out there.
Very good. It's actually, I would say that's the most popular one of all time.
Yeah.
The second one I'm going to show is actual recreation of this cover, and it is The Death of Captain Marvel. So The Death of Captain Marvel here has Death holding Captain Marvel in the same format. It's actually, you can see the similarities right there. And this was obviously one of the key books of the era by Jim Starlin. It's classic. It's actually probably the most depressing comic book I've ever read, maybe outside of the Spider-Man 90, The Death of Captain Stacy, which could be considered a Pieta cover if you want to ever look that one up.
Yep.
It is. I don't have one. I was going to buy one, but I couldn't make a good deal. And Captain Marvel, right here. I was like going to call him Captain Marvel to not offend anybody. Here he is, and he dies a tragic death of cancer. Doesn't get killed by Thanos, but Thanos does make an appearance at the end. So some other books, some keys, or some other books, some popular books that came out. One series in particular kind of kept the theme going. When you had the pre-code horror, I'll say Neil Adams is quintessential. I mean, I think one of Neil Adams' best covers of the Pieta, maybe not the best. I think Jadee's going to have one later. Is Tomb of Dracula 1. And right there you can see the unconscious Dracula carrying there. And Tomb of Dracula number 5 as well has the same image. Different person, but same image. And then a little bit of a stretch on this one, but just a great cover that I love sharing here is Gil Kane's Dracula masterpiece, Giant Size Dracula number 3. So as we said, the criteria to be a Pieta cover is you have to show somebody carrying somebody else, and then they have to be unconscious. So I will now pass over to TJ, who's going to show you another book, and then I'm going to go through a few more. TJ?
When it comes to the rules on the arms, some people say it has to be both arms. Some people say it has to be one arm. But this is what, as the day the Earth stood still from Worlds Unknown number 3, 1973, with the one arm case.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Look at that beautiful cover right there. And part of it here is, do they have to be completely out? Now, this is one Captain Action, which is actually was a gift from Mr. Watson here when we were discussing Pietas, how much I like this cover. It's just a great book here. It's Gil Kane. So we kind of hit his name a couple of times already. Just phenomenal. Captain Action number 3. Again, does it have to be just a man holding a woman or a woman holding a man? No, this is a man holding a man, which we're going to see some more of. Another great work of DC is this Aquaman, which is one of my favorite covers to have. As not a big Aquaman fan or a DC fan, this cover I just had to have right away. It's the anger on his face, and it kind of changes to where there's been remorse in most of the covers, and then the anger started showing. Like Dracula is carrying off maybe not a victim, but a love interest, the mother to the son in the Jesus case, and the Captain Marvel, the Deathlook. But this is the way the anger comes in, and this comes into a lot of comics as well. And this image, I would say it's probably one of the most replicated images in comic outside of maybe the solo cover. And it's been done where there's anguish. And this is one where, do you have to be holding him entirely? I think this is a Pieta cover. TJ, your opinion?
It is. Yeah, that is actually on the list that a lot of people put out for the...
Yeah. What we have is these are custom lists of Pieta covers that him and I have collected over the time. And TJ just has better quality. He's got a lot of his in slabs. I went with quantity, and I buy as many issues as I can. TJ, I'm going to ask you to show another one before I show probably one of the most famous ones as well.
This one was the New Teen Titans Keebler edition drug issue they put out. And that was a real nice cover. And that one is George Perez cover.
Phenomenal. Look at that. 9/8, by the way, everybody. That's a true Slab Dragon slab right there. Speaking of Slab Dragon, there's my Slab Dragon right here. One more thing I wanted to bring up is as everybody has done this back and forth, there are so many famous images, and it's been done over and over again, is the impact it has on the issues. These are all, many of these issues become key issues for what they signify, or a great moment in comics, the death of Captain Marvel, the first appearance of Dracula. I think this is probably one of the most quintessential of the time. And another one of the famous there is a great John Byrne, right? That's John Byrne, yeah. X-Men 136. For all you X-Men fan right there. I'm going to show a little bit of a, yes, I'm going to just do a little shout out to the chat right now. Thank everybody who's joining. Mo, DS Comics. Yes, we actually showed that earlier. If you missed the beginning part, we showed Catman 31 as the first Pieta cover. We had that earlier. Comic Books NYC. Who Dat is in the house. I've seen Matty Thanatos. I'm sure he needs a nap, but there's probably the first one. But you can see the image here of the Pieta. Whether or not he's standing or sitting, it's still considered a Pieta cover, and it's great. Mr. Gretzky, how we doing? I got shoes. Who T-Bird? Look at this. So there's another one. A book that I know people like, the Doom Patrol. Here's one where they're not even human. I do consider this Pieta. TJ, I know I've had some people come back at me on this, but I think this is considered a Pieta.
It is. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, this is their eyes are open because they're robots, but this is the death of a great storyline.
Well, he's dead, so
yeah, he doesn't work anymore. He was never alive, but he was never worked anymore. And a great storyline here. It's probably one of the keys of that Showcase run. Or is it Doom Patrol? I think it's Showcase presents. But
Showcase, yeah. Yeah.
And then I always show this cover for the Superman cover. Obviously, there's Infinite Crisis, but there's this one as well. The kneeling Superman over Lois Lane. This is one of my key copies that I have of any DC or any color book. I just love the way this book is. This might have been my yellow cover at some point, but I'm really a big fan of this one here. TJ, you want to show another one before I get into the next ones?
This is one of my favorite ones that really got me started on the whole idea of collecting these ever since I first saw it. This is 1963. This is Batman number 156 with a Sheldon Mordolf cover. And I just think this is such a great.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Robin dies at dawn. Isn't that amazing?
All the colors are incredible on this one. It just started me on this whole journey of collecting these kind of covers.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm going to get into the one that started me on the cover in a little bit too. But here's another one here I'm going to bring up here where they're not human and one's human, one's not. And this is Man-Thing right here, number 22. TJ has one of these as well. I know this is in his registry. This was actually a gift from Mr. TJ Watson as well. And I don't know what your grade is, but this could be better.
Mine's a 9.6.
This could be. This could be. It's close. It could be. It's very nice. It's on its way. We can't talk about Man-Thing without talking about my giant-sized Man-Thing. Here's one here with the great cover here. Another great one. Now back to the monsters. I consider Frankenstein, there's a few Frankensteins out there, but I think Monsters Unleashed. Now, TJ, who did this cover?
That's a Boris.
Boris is one of those guys that I'm a big fan of. He did many, many comics out there, but a lot of Vampirellas. I think that was probably the main one with Frazetta, right? A lot of what Frazetta did.
He did a lot of Conan, Savage Sword of Conan too.
Savage Sword as well, yeah. But here's a classic Pieta cover right there, and scantily clad and beautiful Frankenstein.
Yep.
So the next one we're gonna show, TJ, why don't you? I believe you've got something special coming up over here.
You want me to show the Golden Age one?
Yeah, let's do some Golden Age. You might want to move some of your slabs. They're blocking the view.
Oh. Almost had an avalanche.
Yeah. There you go.
This is from 1952, Pre-Code Horror, Chamber of Chills number 11. And
Is that Elias?
Pardon?
Who
Yes.
did that cover? It is Elias, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the beautiful Lee Elias cover there. And if anybody knows about, I'm a big fan of the Golden Age. TJ's a big fan of the Golden Age. I know some of my other fellow friends in here are some of the Golden Age fans here. I will honestly tell you right now, that's one of those books that you don't see often. That's really scarce. And Lee Elias is one of those that he goes down as one of the best horror ones up there with Wally Wood and Jack Davis.
He did a lot of work for Harvey.
Yep. So I'm not going to let TJ have all the slab fun. I'm going to throw one slab up there. And mine is, you can't go horror without going to the master of the macabre, Mr. Bernie Wrightson himself. This is my 9/6 signed Bernie Wrightson gold label out there for all my gold label fans. This is considered a Pieta cover. There's one other Wrightson that TJ has, but we couldn't locate it right away. There's another one out there too. I think there's another Wrightson. I just can't remember which one it is. It might be more modern, but beautiful cover right there. Bernie being one of my favorites out there. Now I think we're going to get, TJ and I are getting into some of our favorite covers outside of that. At least I'm going to get into some of my favorite artists. So I hope you're not playing the drinking game.
No.
But chance, because I will be saying somebody's name a couple of times. You want to show? You started off with one of my favorite characters.
Well, that would probably be a one of those.
Yeah, we can't go wrong with what's that guy's name? John Buscema. That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I can't thank him enough for showing that book. But
is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, that's it. That's a Pieta, Silver Surfer Pieta cover, and it's actually funny. I'm going to show. I have obviously the whole run, but I found a later one. And it was funny because Silver Surfer 3, number 1, but the character's awake. Here's Silver Surfer carrying a scroll in the Pieta. And this is considered a Pieta. While it's modern, it's still considered a Pieta Silver Surfer cover. That's Ron Lim, by the way. My other favorite character, everybody knows, probably my favorite character, if you just look up here, you can see his hammer. Thor. Thor had a run of them. The first one, Journey to Mystery 110. Him carrying Jane Foster right here. Just classic cover right there. Not much to say. It's pure Pieta right there. Then Thor 127 is his dad carrying Thor himself. Thor himself is in the Pieta form. And this is, TJ, I think this is probably the most known Thor Pieta.
Yes.
Of the bunch, yeah.
And the most
yeah, it's probably the most expensive, yeah. And another one I found done by John Buscema cover here, which you can't go wrong, is Thor holding Balder the Brave. And this is a beautiful book right here. Actually, I found this for $4, and I couldn't be happier because this is not a new book. It's a new stand. See Woodard in the house? I saw him before. So there we go. There's a good one here. So we just love showing these books, and I want to thank everybody in the community that was out here as well. Comic Night, how are you? I try to keep up with the chat. It was going by pretty fast over here. Comic Book Brother, how are you? Good seeing you here. Newsstand, yep, it's there. So now Thor was a part of the Avengers, and while I showed one Avengers before, let's keep with Buscema for a little while. There's another great John Buscema cover, the Avengers 49. I just love this. This is Magneto, and spoiler alert, you find out, and I think, what is this, number 49? So you find out in about 100 issues later on that's their dad. It's kind of weird how the storyline goes, because the John Byrne series of Avengers is when they find out that Magneto is the dad. And obviously, with a lot of talk about Conan coming up and everything, Conan 100, it's not much to say. It's just John Buscema at his finest right there, in my opinion right there. Gorgeous cover. Goes through perfectly right there. So, TJ, let's show a few books out here. I'm going to take a look at the chat. What do you got, TJ?
You want me to show the Adams one?
Sure. I only have one more to go, so.
This is the Neil Adams one from Tomahawk number 121 from 1969. Surprisingly hard to find in high grade.
It's actually, if anybody wants to take a good look at that cover, I challenge anybody to find one in that condition. It's I've actually looked for one myself. Actually, that's TJ. I think that was on an Instagram when we first started discussing this. That was the first one you showed me, and I'm like, "Holy cow! You collect Pietas too?" Because I put out Tomb of Dracula 1, 3, and the Dracula the Dell book that I like so much. So, because on the hunt this week, we're the kid, everybody else on the hunt, Tony and Jeffrey and our guest is going to be looking for Erod. Their job is to go find a Pieta cover. Now, we're giving them some good ideas, so that goes out there. And they could even go tomorrow and get one at their own shop.
Yeah.
My last cover I just want to show, or did you have any more?
I just have one more.
Okay, you want to show one more before we have some fun with everybody here?
We got the Skywall Scream number 4 from 1974.
Very cool.
These were
Look at that.
Very low.
That's one of my favorites right there. I actually have I found a few more here. I'm going to show these little fun ones as well. But to show you guys that it's not just been all golden age and everything else, there's stuff coming out tomorrow.
It's every decade has.
Every year has one almost. Yeah. I'm going to show you some here. Just throw a Submariner out there. This is not Buscema, by the way. But just showing that there's this Submariner 13. Great book right here. Now, here's some books for everybody that I said. The Death of Jane Foster is a quintessential Pieta cover, I would say. And I'm going to pull out that book again in a minute here. And I have some funny ones here. This past year, this was 2 years ago, this past year we saw The Death of Inhumans, which is almost a direct homage to the original Pieta, which again, I'll show that cover. For anybody who didn't see how the show started, with an actual Pieta comic, which is great. Good find. Some books that may not be considered real or not real. Here is Radioactive Man. TJ, do you see this one?
Yes, that is real.
That is a real Pieta cover. Radioactive Man right there. Anybody wants to see some fun stuff? Let's see if anybody... then you have... I'm not going to end it without giving a shout out to... I saw them in here earlier. Behind the Blast Doors, the only Star Wars Pieta cover. And it's a newer one. And this is very rare. I'm actually trying to fight for this one on as a considered it. It is considered it because it's he's carrying Vader, but it is a very hard to find variant that's only based out of Golden Apple in, I think, Los Angeles or something around that area. Somewhere in Orange County, California, if anybody knows. But those are the Pieta covers. So the story behind Stranger Things is now it's up to the community. We want to know some of the Stranger Things that you guys collect. TJ and I have quite a few books between us, and we think we can help you out with the books. Like you tell us, say, hey, I collect this kind of animal covers, and I like this animal. I collect a certain animal. I'm sure TJ's got a few with animals on there. We'll help you out. We just want you to join us in our show and show us some of your core things that aren't necessarily keys or first appearances or your favorite character. Even if you want to do an artist that we don't really know or an obscure character who's never had his own series but always shows up somewhere. You know, I know somebody who likes Puck from Adam Warlock, or that guy from Alpha Flight, Huck, which is like a copy of Puck.
Or Stingray, yeah.
Stingray, yeah. There's another one. So what we plan on doing is inviting people to either message us through Instagram. You can do hashtag Pieta covers for this time, and tell us something you want us to do next. If it's statues, I know there's a couple of people out there who do statues, but if you want to be a guest on the show, we want you to invite yourself. There's some kind of glare on this camera, but whatever. I can't fix that right now. We want you to tell us some strange, quirky things you do. a couple of ideas people have brought up to me was, hey, I've seen the Funkos. I don't have that many Funkos. I have a few, but if you want to come on and tell us your Funko collection, we can do that too. TJ and I we're planning on doing this to be Stranger Things. We have a few more ideas for ourselves, and we want to ask anybody else what they would think. Like I said, we want to make this so much more of what you guys do, what you guys want. And when you watch on the replay, I know we ran through these books really fast, but they're really good books, and two guys who really enjoy collecting the books we did. We had a lot of focus in on the early age, but we have some moderns as well. And I think it'll be fun. I mean, there's plenty of ideas, a lot of quirky things. You give us the idea. We'd love to have you on. So, TJ, what anything you want to add?
No, I'm good.
Thank
you for doing most of the talking. I appreciate that because I'm nervous about this. So
yeah, no worries. Again, this is your show too. You are the show. Let's be honest. It is TJ. Here's my Slab Dragon again. This has been Jaydee and TJ Watson for Pieta Covers, episode 1 of Stranger Things. You guys want again? Let us know, hashtag Pieta Covers, or just email us or contact us. Leave comments on the chat. Or the not the chat, but on the afterwards when it airs. Hey, I have an idea. We will reach out to you and say, hey, we like that idea. If we don't, we just didn't have time. But we want to know something that you collect that maybe not everybody else does. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Quick half-hour show. We love it. TJ was great. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. TJ.
You have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.